right. Y'all are cute or whatever. Good afternoon, Netroots. Can we give it up one more time for mi hermano, David Huerta? It is a real pleasure to be with all of you all today in one of my absolute favorite cities, New Orleans. And being able to look around this room to know and to see what possibility looks like. Brilliant minds, passionate hearts, fierce organizers, people who get up every single day, ready to fight for justice and to build something better. That gives me immense joy. That gives me hope. Because no matter how dark the headlines, no matter how tough the terrain, y'all, we are still here. David Huerta is still here. Millions of immigrants and working people in this country fighting for a better life are still here, and we are still showing up. We are still standing shoulder to shoulder, still believing that a better world is possible, a better world that we can and will build together. Earlier this year, I was in Selma, Alabama, celebrating the 60th anniversary of Bloody Sunday. It wasn't the first time that I had a chance to stand on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, but as I'm sure you can imagine, this year held special significance. I felt the wind of our ancestors who once marched. I stood on the ground that holds echoes of history. And as I stood there, my feet planted, the wind in my face, I felt a deep, unshakable truth come over me. On that very bridge, the same forces that tried to stop foot soldiers like John Lewis and Amelia Boynton, the same forces that conspired in the hearts of politicians and behind the same shields of police, the same forces that cracked skulls, that blocked ballots, and tried to silence a generation. Y'all, they are the same damn forces we are fighting today. You know them, I know them. They are white supremacy. It is systemic oppression. It is political violence. They met John Lewis and Amelia Boynton with batons and tear gas. Today, y'all, today they meet us with billionaires rigging the rules. It's the same old tired playbook. But on that bridge, I didn't just feel the pain of history. I felt the power of our lineage. Because our ancestors who walked that bridge, they did not just resist. They manifested radical imagination. They built movements out of nothing. They turned fear into courage. They turned despair into action. They walked that bridge with hope in their hearts and vision in their minds, and they moved the nation forward. Netroots, you may not have known that, but now I'm gonna tell you, that is why we are here. Because if they could imagine a better world in the face of hoses and dogs, surely we can imagine one in the face of voter suppression, union busting, and creeping authoritarianism. But if we are gonna do that, if we're going to imagine systems and break away from the status quo built for a privileged few, we have to start by being honest with each other. So can we practice a little radical honesty with each other? Honest about the systems that are broken, an economy that rewards exploitation over dignity, a healthcare system that treats survival like a luxury, a democracy that answers to donors more than it does to everyday people. But also, I'm not gonna let y'all get away with not being honest about the roles we play. How we've let perfection become the enemy of progress. How we stay safe in our silos instead of building together. How sometimes we settle for commentary when what we need is construction. Netroots, when I look around this room, I see your brilliance, I see your fire, but I also see a movement that is too often stuck in the comfort of critique than in the discomfort of creation. We've got the best panels, we got the best think pieces, we got the best hashtags. We do. We absolutely do. Hey, Oma. But while we are drafting statements, the other side is drafting legislation. They're seizing our school boards. And while we're talking about Robert's rules, like they are stacking the courts, they are waging a full-scale campaign to make white nationalism governing policy. Oh, it's a whole California table. I see y'all. So while we are debating language, they are taking power. And don't get me wrong, I love a good policy debate. And language absolutely matters. But here's what I know after traveling this country. Y'all people, my people are tired. They are not doom scrolling Twitter. They are working 2 jobs. They are skipping meds to buy groceries. They are wondering how they are gonna pay the rent because it's too damn high. While we are perfecting our talking points, authoritarianism is gaining ground. Now, I did not come here to call anyone out. I came with the hope in my heart that we can all get called deeper in together. Because I do believe in us. I believe we can rise to this moment together. I believe we can organize better than we can lie, than they can lie. We lie too, but y'all, they lie like nobody's business. We lie to ourselves, like, ugh. So I believe we can organize better than they can lie. I believe we can and we will fight like hell and still love not just our people, but their people all the way through it. And here's why. My favorite part, because joy is a part of the strategy too. And not soft joy. I'm talking radical joy. I'm talking loud joy. I'm talking defiant joy. I'm talking the kind of joy that sounds like Cowboy Carter in your earbuds and Kendrick on full blast. I'm talking the kind of joy that looks like chair teeth cookouts and moves like salsa in these here hips. I'm talking joy that says we are still here and we're not going anywhere. The kind of joy that fuels freedom songs. The kind of joy that keeps you marching when your feet hurt. The kind of joy that reminds us who we are and where we come from. Like the old saints used to say, this joy I have, the world didn't give it to me and the world cannot take it away. That joy that carried our ancestors, that joy that will carry us all the way to freedom. But without strategy, it's just theater. Analysis without organizing is performance. And I'm tired of watching y'all perform. We need both fire and focus. We need to know who we're fighting for and what we're building. Because if you can't name the boss, if you won't name the corporation, if you are afraid to name the policies and politicians exploiting our people, you're not organizing, you're observing. At SEIU, behind David Wertz's leadership, we are not just resisting what's broken, we are building what is next. We're organizing workers across sectors and industries and borders, fighting for contracts that don't just deliver wages, but housing and childcare and dignity. We're reimagining democracy in the workplace and beyond. We're building a world where every worker, Black, brown, undocumented, gig, care, retail, and everything in between has a union. Where $25 is the floor, not a dream. Where life expectancy is not determined by your zip code or your skin color. Because when we build worker power, when we build political power, and when working people rise, everybody else rises too. Now, I know some of y'all might be thinking, damn, that April, she's real preachy. This is not what I came to hear, but it's what you need to hear. Because this moment is not about comfort, it's about courage. And here's the good news. We got what it takes. We can build the world our ancestors dreamed of and our children deserve. We just have to change the rules. So I know my time is up. So let's get real quick to what's possible. If we move with both imagination and without fear, if we lead with clarity instead of defensiveness, we can expand union rights to every worker. We can bargain contracts that reshape entire sectors. We can build new forms of civic participation that reflect real people's lives. We can use tech to connect, not just to surveil. We can flood the zone with the truth because disinformation is poisoning our people. We can organize across race and gender and geography and class, because that is the strategy that it takes to win. We've done it before. A. Philip Randolph demanded dignity from the railroads and made a nation listen. Dorothy Bolden turned her front porch into her headquarters for domestic worker power. Bayard Rustin didn't just organize a march. He taught us how to build a movement and dared us to be angelic troublemakers. That's my lineage, and I believe it's yours. It is my inheritance, and I believe it's yours. It is our turn. So Netroots, I'll leave you with this. This moment in our movement is not just about resistance. It's about construction. It's about the world we can and must build together. It's about moving from critique to courage, from self-righteous commentary to intentional community. It's about building something that outlives any one crisis or candidate, because this fight is bigger than Donald Trump. It's bigger than April Verrett. It is about the conditions that made him possible and the courage that it will take to dismantle them. So I wanted to be here today because I believe in us. I believe we are powerful. So let's use our power, Netroots. Let's rewrite the rules. Let's stand on business. Let's stay in this thing until we win the world we all want and deserve. Let's go get it.